Hi all, my name is Jackie Murray with Ask a Tech Teacher. I'm your guide through this structured learning technology curriculum for third grade, all 32 lessons. We're on lesson 6 right now, which is problem solving. This is one of those lessons I mentioned earlier that kind of spreads throughout the year. So where we probably can spend a 45-minute lesson introducing this concept that we are problem solvers. We don't stand around and wait for someone to come and solve them. We're the ones that solve them and strategies for doing that. You can spend a lesson doing that, but it is reinforced throughout the year. So when students have a hardware problem, their first thought is, what do I know that can solve it? Can I ask my neighbor if I'm stuck? Can I ask my neighbor as part of my team to help me solve it? It isn't to sit there with your hand up and go, teacher never got to me. I had my hand up for 10 minutes. That's not a solution because that didn't solve anything. So we want students to, throughout the year, understand that they are their own problem solvers. You've been doing this if you've been using the technology curriculum from structured learning since kindergarten. You've had them thinking of themselves as critical thinkers and problem solvers. So third grade, they're not going to expect anything less from you. They're going to know that's what you think they're going to do this year, and they're going to be ready for it. Okay, so vocabulary, I think they're pretty normal. Maybe toggle, maybe CPU. We don't talk CPU in kindergarten or first grade or maybe even second grade. I think the rest are okay, though. I think you've got them. And then the problem solving, you're covering, what you're doing in this section is covering about 25 very common problems that students will face. And then ones problems that are specific to whatever the tool being used in the classroom, in the lesson for that week. So those 25, that's hardware. And here we go. We've got a bunch of these. Digital device doesn't work. That's the same as saying my computer doesn't work. So try to figure out that one. Caps doesn't work. Cap doesn't work. How do I exit a program? Those types of things. These are all, I think they've seen them before. But make sure these you expect them to solve. You don't, if they say, I was sick, what do I do? Well, they know about the Mulligan rule if you told them about the Mulligan rule. So they don't have to ask you that. They can just tell you, I'd like to retake that quiz and be in charge of their grade and their future. I can't come after school for makeup. Well, what do you do about that? There are some other solutions rather than, okay, I can't do the makeup. There are some other ones, but let them come up with those. Okay, problem solving. It's under new, even though they've been doing it since kindergarten, because you're going to throw some new strategies at them. How do I solve problems in technology? Develop authentic solutions that encourage independence. Solving the problems isn't a discrete thing. Okay, here's a problem, here's a solution. Here's a problem, here's a solution. It's a critical thinking thing where, okay, here's a problem. What strategies do I have that would help me solve this? Okay, a couple new assessments understood problem solving. They understood that it wasn't about, okay, monitor doesn't work, I push the power button. It was about, okay, monitor doesn't work. Have I faced this in the past? What worked other times? That is the solution. You want them to start thinking of those type of higher order thinking solutions. Signed up for the problem solving board, completed the warm up, and we're doing QWERTY row now. I assume you are up to QWERTY row. You're up to 4 weeks on home row. Now you're on QWERTY row. You notice we dropped Dance Mat typing because it doesn't have a specific row for the QWERTY row, a lesson for the QWERTY row. So, but Popcorn Typer does, and you might have another lesson, another keyboarding program that does. You can use that also. So your preparation, you are going to be doing problem solving board signups. So make sure you're ready for that. Talk to your grade level team. That's something we have you do all the time. And the links, and most of these are very typical. You are still collecting words to prepare for the Speak Like a Geek board presentations later in the year. So I think you've got all these. All right, so problem solving overview. Discuss the idea that, discuss what their goals are as far as technology in terms of blended learning. The idea isn't, okay, I want to learn that program. You don't learn a program for the sake of learning the program. We did used to do that 10 years ago, but we don't anymore. Now we learn a program because your goal is to communicate more effectively, communicate with more people, to share information, whatever that is, and then there's a tool to do that. So you want them thinking in those terms. That way, when you say, okay, what we're doing today is creating a book report, you pick the tool. You want them, okay, that's fine. I know how to do that because my goal is to create a book report and my vehicle is this. Okay, so then we get into the problem solving. Here are strategies for solving problems. They're not necessarily in third grade terms, so rephrase them or have students rephrase them because it's the same poster that's in through 8th grade. And they're the same strategies they'll learn through 8th grade. So start thinking, you want them thinking about this. When they have a problem, could they draw it? Could they guess and check? They certainly don't say can't, because then they failed. Now they've given up, and that's not what we do. Could they look for a pattern? So these are very standard solutions, strategies for solving problems. You want them to be thinking in terms of these. And there's going to be a project, now maybe not in 3rd grade, another grade, where they actually track how they solved their problem. Okay, daily problem solving. They know hardware. They are used to using short keys. You reinforce that they're doing the right thing with those. Yes, yes, keep doing it, and you're doing the right thing. Problem solving board. So this is, there are 3 of them throughout the year. Problem solving board, they're going to pick from among the common problems that they face, maybe a list like this, but preferably it'll be a list you put together based on your class. It'll have some of these, but it's going to have other ones that are specific to your group. They're going to pick one of these problems, and they're going to know, once they've picked it, no one else can pick it. And then they're going to teach classmates how to solve it. I can't find a file. Okay, what's the solution? This is one, but there are others. As long as they teach one solution to the problem, they're good. So they're going to, if we go into theirs, you're going to see they have here where they're going to put the problem they picked and their presentation date. I would say 3 people per date. These are very quick. If I can model one in a couple seconds for you. My name is Jackie Murray. My problem is my monitor doesn't work. One solution is check the power on the monitor. So that's it. Any questions? And then students can take 3 questions from classmates. Classmates might say, I have another solution. That's perfectly fine. Or they might say, I'm not allowed to touch the power button. I think then the teacher's going to jump in and take care of that one. Or they might have a question about it. Where do I find the power button? And then the presenter will address that. But that's how easy the presentation is. It takes 10, 20, 30 seconds, really no longer. So you get maybe 3 done a day. And you're going to have a master list. You might have them sign up via Google Forms, probably not, because that won't, unless you set it up to preclude the 2 people selecting the same one. Or Google spreadsheets where you got all the problems and then people put their name and the date by it. That's fine. Whatever way you choose, but definitely do use it to reinforce their other technology skills. Here's an example sign of Genius. They could do it that way, Google Docs. Okay. And this is what they're graded on. So students know right up front, this is what you're looking for. You have this, you put on your iPad and then grade them immediately. As they make their presentation, you grade them, you grab a screenshot, send it to yourself, and move on to the next presenter. So you do not pile up all this work that you have to do. You've already done it. Okay, the goals of the presentation board, you can see those. All right. And I think probably in theirs, so they have thorough instructions here too, which I definitely recommend going over with them. But if they missed class, they've got it all right here in their workbook if you're using workbooks. Project-based problem solving. This is one you need a quirky sort of um, software program or tool. Uh, I always used Oregon Trail, very old tool, but everyone loves it, and it was very quirky on the computers in my school. You're going to find one of your own, but we had one Alt F4. We had these 4 problems that were really good solutions to a lot of the things going wrong with the Oregon Trail experience. Students wanted to solve the problems because they wanted to play the game. That's what you're looking for, is a tool that allows that sort of thinking. I want to be a problem solver. I don't want to wait for someone to solve it because I'm really excited about doing this activity. So that's what this third one is, project-based problem solving. Okay, so before they leave, they have to sign up for the problem solving board, however you set that up. Make that their goal, and then they can show you, or they can tell you the date they signed up, whatever you want to do, and then they can leave. And I think in there, so extensions. So this is they're kind of the same as yours, but give them some options. If they finish early, then they can go to the internet start page and go to some websites that tie into class inquiry. They can have you might whoever that person is that's adding homework to the class calendar, and that's going to change once a month. That person can check the calendar, make sure homework's up to date there, and students can go in and add their date to the class calendar so they can see where they're presenting and add that. So those are some good extras. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great week. Be sure to ask questions on our discussion board on the wiki, and I'll talk to you soon.